Greetings, gamers. What you don't know is that we've already been on here like for a half hour, and there's things that are like been done. So, what that means is that there's nothing like fulfilling your Kickstarter for you to have a total panic attack about how every little mechanic and every little thing makes you feel weird. So I went through and I streamlined and simplified stuff even more. Your species lineages are going to have a lot more play, more like the Scintillian that Rachel's been playing. So now all the lineages are going to have their own little thing that they kind of explore and can kind of do different things on. We have introduced relationships, what we were going to talk about. And before we get back into, I'm going to give a little highlight of what's going on in the adventure. And then we're going to talk about the relationship between our characters, maybe a little bit of history between the two to try and flesh it out. That's one thing that I did in the way back in like Mark like point one version of Honorbound is have these very complicated interwoven relationships starting off right away. And what I did is I went away from that because I want those relationships to grow and emerge throughout these different storylines. But you can't So as pointed out is that you can't really stab someone in the back unless you know them really well, right? And so that's something that we're going to take a look at, trying to get these characters into a little bit more with each other. So here's what we're doing in the story. It's called, this is part two of After the Score. You three have managed to, I wouldn't say kidnap necessarily, but are freeing Sapphire Crux to come back home. Is that the deal? I believe to bring him back home from his partying ways. He is humanish, and you guys are on the luxury transport called the LX Charon. Unfortunately, along the way, oh no, something bad happened outside, causing an explosion in the opportunity for the spaceship to explode. Ludwicka, in all of her bravery, went out there and noticed all these razor wings that Gareth Karr managed to dissuade with laser fire. um, as Ludwicka fixed the outside, so now the ship is no longer in danger of exploding. However, you're still drifting a bit. One thing that Ludwicka noticed while she was outside is that there is a transport that is attached to the underside of your ship or of the luxury liner. Now, there has been some other things that have been going on in here. You have met the blind engineer. You know Ithaca, the first mate, is something a little weird about her. She took something from the cabin, and once we get back over to Rachel, I'm going to need her to tell me exactly what it is that that person took. All right, so start thinking about that. All right, now, before we jump in to figure out and to travel different places, I will get you a list of locations that you can go to. And do you need the list of names again? If you do, I'm more than happy to get that shared up there too. Um, which I think it might be just up here. Yeah, there we
I
go.
found it in the chat. It's still in there.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. All right. So that's where we're at for the adventure. Starting with Gareth Karr, who's up in my upper left-hand corner for today's adventure. Can you tell me maybe one thing? So we started relationship pips for each other on here, and we're starting off with two each, except for one kind of relationship and on that. Now, for each pip, once that relationship thing is kind of more expanded, what I want people to do, once we have more space, we're just trying out right now, is for each pip, tell me why you trust them. So give me one thing about both Mr. Crystal and Ludwicka about your relationship and why you trust them.
About each one.
Hmm.
Uh, Mr. Crystal is easy. I trust him because he's kind of he's kind of simple. He's kind of basic. Like he sort of has this like thing that he does, and that's what he wants to do, and it seems to be all on the surface. There's no like hidden motive with this guy. Like Mr. Crystal's like, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it, and he seems earnest, and it's refreshing in this world of uh, operating when you find someone willing to be so honest and straightforward. So I trust him because of that. Ludwicka, I trust because of our history, uh, and I because I owe her one. Uh, I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt, and if she says that this is a true thing, I'm gonna believe her uh, as long as I can until I repay the debt.
All right, I'm excited to find out what that thing is that you owe her for. That should be pretty
Me too.
cool. Great. Mr. Crystal in the lower right-hand corner. Can you give me one thing about your relationship for each one and why you trust them?
I trust Gareth Karr because he protected a creature that needed help at risk to himself. He put his neck out there, and that's what creatures should be doing for one another in this universe. Yep, just like that. And Ludwika, she told me when I did something wrong so that I could get better. And, sort of like Gareth sort of hinted at, the universe seems full of creatures who don't say what they really want or mean. And so when someone does, I take that as something very important. So Ludwika telling me what I did wrong was very helpful, and I trust her for that.
Very cool. All right. In Ludwicka, can you tell us your relationship with the other two characters and why do you trust them?
Yeah. I actually was going to say something similar as Crystal about why I trust Gareth. Because we appear to have Gareth and I appear to have a shared passion for helping creatures that are smaller and less able. And maybe we enjoy small creatures like pets or scrolling whatever the equivalent is of like looking at cute pictures of animals. Whatever
Sure.
this in-world equivalent is. Because yep, we both really took to that mugwump, and I appreciate that he took care of mugwump. Um, for Mr. Crystal, I trust because um he was open to me figuring something out and willing to learn and didn't get defensive and didn't get like be rude about it, and like I know that his intentions were good, and I don't know what that has to do with the relationship that I chose, but um
You can always change the
maybe I need
relationships
to choose a
too.
different relationship. I might have to change the relationship to make it something else. Um so yeah, I think that would be the why I trust, the openness to learning and
Okay, perfect.
criticism.
Now, have you had enough time to think about what did you witness Ithaca steal from the captain's quarters at the very beginning of the adventure before things all went to hell?
It was really hard to tell for sure because she definitely was like hiding it under a vest, but it
Hmm.
looked like it was like an envelope, like a very thick, like full of papers kind of envelope.
Okay, perfect. And then something I'm going to spring on you guys. So each of you has a legacy, and that is your outlook of the world. Working as a team, we have Gareth Karr as the lover, Mr. Crystal as the hero, and Ludwicka as the philosopher. How do those outlooks and legacies of your own characters, how does that mean that they work together? So what we can do
Can you
instead
repeat?
of telling me straight up what that means right now, think about that in our upcoming interactions with each other. Okay? The lover, the hero, the philosopher. These are legacies that you chose that you wanted to fulfill and to act out during your game. So let's see what those look like while we're in action. As the scene comes back, if I remember correctly, Ludwicka has just gotten back uh, indoors, and you are now, all of you, kind of searching around the different parts of the ship at this point. From here is, I'm going to get you a list of the ship. Now, for all the different kinds, like the sleeping quarters, you've got a bunch of different people to check their sleeping quarters if you want to, right? Now, because of Mr. Crystal's kind of status, um, in kind of what the captain, Klaus, has given you the authority to bring that in to kind of check things out. Um, so you've bumped into a couple people, and I'm going to tell you right now, one more tension point, and I get to roll on the tension table. So, what would you three like to do?
Ludwicka, did you tell us about the craft that you saw on the bottom side of the ship?
I
Yeah,
was
Ludwicka is.
going to, but had to do so. Yes.
I'd like to look at that.
And I do in this scenario to try to do the way where I don't actually like that there's a ship being or there's a
Yeah, with your auto inducers or inductors, yeah, if you just touch either of the other characters, you can relay that information in regular talking speed.
the last part of what you just said. Kind of cut
Okay,
out for a
yep.
second.
So with because you're Scintillian, you've got those auto inductors. So just by touching another sentient being, you can convey that information to them. Now, because they're not other Scintillian, they'll just get it as regular talking speed.
Great. And from that description, can I figure out what part of our ship is attached to? Like, in theory, if it was like a bulkhead with a door, like what room would it be attached to?
Sure. For you, you're an you're an operator. You kind of know it. Working together with the Wayfinder. Wayfinder for sure knows where it's at. But it's probably attached to the outer bulkhead of the storage, maybe, would be your best
Okay.
guess.
I don't know if we want to split up or if we want to stick together on this. Um, I don't know. What do you think?
I've been splitting up a lot, and maybe it's time to try something together.
Are you thinking outside the ship or inside the ship? We could do either way.
If we can check out and see where they came from the inside first, I think that's safer. And if not, then we're gonna have to get creative. But I think that whoever sabotaged this thing, that's our biggest, most obvious clue, right? Like that has to be part of this. Then what the hell is it doing there?
Let's go
Okay.
down to the storage area.
Do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. So then, if uh, pardon me, to get to the transport, you'd have to go to the outside of the ship. Um, Well, I mean, you can go to storage, right? Go check out there first. Add that as a place to go visit.
Well, yeah.
Still
Ludwig.
drifting, you said. So does that mean we're still in danger of these creatures that are the space pterodactyls that are coming after us?
If you go to the exterior of the ship, yes.
I think we need, if somebody used this ship to get on board, like what access point did they take? And if it's, you know, if they would have, we're going to find out. If they went through storage, if there's a external door they used to get through right next to it, or they latch on there and like, how do they get in if they got in at all? And are they on the ship at all?
Oh, uh, the space suits that were there for my use, we were sabotaged. So as far as I don't know what doesn't necessarily affect what they were using to get in and out, but
No, but it means that they were on the ship and then sabotaged them while they were on the ship. That would be a
that's what
logical
they sure
conclusion.
did first. There was just a hole sliced in them.
A
Well,
tiny one though, right? Like it wasn't obvious, like small enough that maybe you wouldn't have noticed,
did it for them.
or they have a friend on board.
Mm.
Let's check out this ship. We're going to learn a lot from the ship, I think.
All right, so how are you gonna do that? Now that you've got the ship kind of fixed from not exploding, you can go talk to the engineer about what needs to happen next. You can go down to the storage room. We're just trying to figure out if there's a hole there. Um, check security, I guess, for doors being opened or comms, or how are you gonna proceed to figure out, or do you just go outside to the ship?
I like Garrett's idea of just going down and checking to make sure that they didn't like drill in or have some access portal through the storage area. That seems like the quick and dirty first step, right? And
Yeah.
if nothing there, then we make a tougher decision.
Okay. All three of you head down there.
Yeah.
Okay. All three of you kind of get together and head down there, regaling Ludwicka, like running across the top of the ship to get inside in time for the pterodactyls to raise their wings from attacking. As you get down towards the um, storage, nothing seems to be out of place. You hit the identity panel to get in. Door opens up. Um, if any of you want to, well, yeah, and it's going to be a Inquiry 9. If
Sure. I'll try
anyone
to
wants
find
to,
clues. Yeah. I'll
Do we,
do an inquiry looking for clues.
yeah.
do we all try, or is it one person tries with a roll like this?
So I'm going to let you guys decide who tries. You can do them one at a time because when you roll dice, bad things can happen, right? I'm never going to force you guys to roll dice if you don't want to. You can do as many as you want. Honestly, usually this ends up being better for me. I can tell you one thing about being down there in storage. Um, well, yeah, give me the inquiry first because that'll actually matter.
You guys cool with me going? Mom, I hope you said yes because I can't see it because I have the chat up. So, all right. Boom. Well, there you go. Jerod, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Uh
Lovely. On the plus side, you crushed it. Okay, nailed it. Um, so let me tell you this part first. Uh, Searching into the storage room, it's a lot of. I mean, it's kind of like whatever people would need for like a couple week long travel on a ship, right? So there's food, there's clothes, there's just emblematic stuff from like the embassy being shipped. there's some scientific boxes that are locked shut. There is the thing that you find out of place that really stands out to you is that you find a cog about this big, super thin. It's used for augmentations for like a port or for something like that. And you found a loose one on the floor. Normally, that means, well, yeah, you already know. It's from someone. A loose augmentation fell off. Um, the other thing, roll me a d6, please.
3.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna hold on to that one then real quick. Okay. As you're standing there, you're like, maybe this will just be kind of your character story arc for every adventure. There is from one of the um, merchant boxes, there is like a small trail of like slime that's like
Mm-hmm.
come out of a crack. Maybe when the explosion happened, maybe this got kind of maybe cracked open or something. And yeah, but it's from the merchant, what the merchant was shipping. So you found two things done in shipping, but what you did not find is any like hole that was welded into the side to get into the ship. So that would indicate that the way that it got in was just from the two entrances, one from either the bay doors or from the entrance and exit that you just used, or
And would
that
that be the closest
Ludwicka
one?
just used. Yeah.
Uh, okay. Well, I I can go out there and check it out. Uh, Harden,
The razor wing.
that's fine. I mean, it's not fine. It's not fun, but uh, my people are good about adapting to harsh environments, and uh, I can. We have a slight. I'm going to have to get a little bit naked, actually, um, but we can do a bit of a chameleon effect, and we sort of can bounce off the surface that we're on, and that was just something that uh, back back in the day our species learned how to do. It's not really designed to do it off of starship holes, uh, but I should be able to hold my breath long enough and be able to get to the ship, and hopefully the razor wings won't see me. I can't really help you guys.
I,
Um,
I could distract the. I have a suit that's been fixed, so I could distract them if the two of you wanted to run over there, get in there, or if one of you wanted to go in there, I could draw them away a little bit.
sure, I wouldn't want you to put chance that I could sneak most of the way over there and not worry about it. But um, if that doesn't work, yeah, a distraction would be lovely. Ludwicka,
How do we know we're gonna be able to get on whatever this is once
I'm
we
gonna
get
have
over
to be able
there?
to.
As far as
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hotwire this thing probably when I get there. Which
what
I
if something is on it that like shoots you?
Yeah, that's gonna suck if that's true.
It's gonna be a
Feels like maybe
short
we
trip.
need a little more information before we just go there.
So instead of sneaking up on my underwear, just right away, we should like investigate more.
Maybe.
Not a horrible idea. If you have a good way to find out, I'm worried that as we keep drifting, we're going to run out of time. So uh, if we have a good way to be able to
Right.
check, if we can scan it, I'm guessing that it's too close to the ship sensors to be able to do an outer scan that would affect it, and on the outside of the ship that an inner scan wouldn't work either. I don't know.
Could we go talk to someone at the
Like
the
in engineering,
navigation? Yeah, for you. If you feel like you just want to run for it, I mean, I will stay here and try to help draw off the razor wings. I'm just worried about what you're gonna find when you get there.
and
There's a way to just go take a look at it and come back.
I'm not insisting that I do this, but I'm also afraid that the more people we tell about this, the more they're gonna we're gonna tell someone that we don't want to know. Like we're gonna give up what
Agreed.
information we have. And I'm not convinced that the crew are all innocent either. I'm not convinced the captain's innocent for that matter. So the more we can keep between just us without letting them know what information we have, I think is better. That's also the operator in me. If there's a better way to do it, let me know. I'm just going off my instincts here. Please, someone convince me not to go out there. What do you got?
I think that would be a very brave thing for you to do.
It just has to be done. But thank you. Thank you,
But
Mr. Chris.
what if you just go get a better look first and then come back?
Sure.
Or radio. Well, I guess you have to hold your breath if you're doing your chameleon thing. I was gonna say, or just like radio us with more detail once you see it.
I could radio
Just
it, but
kind of glimpse.
it would, yeah. If I radio in, it's just gonna all of a sudden take about 75% of the time I have out there. You know what I mean? So it'd be bad if I did.
Okay, so I've got two checks I'm thinking of if you want to go on with this plan. One, a skullduggery for sneaking, right? And then another one for valor. Now you're going to get bonuses for that one, but you are going to be out into the cold recesses of space unless you put a suit on. Um,
I was thinking that if I use my survivalist advantage, I don't have to put a suit on.
yep, and I'm fine with that. Like this is where I said
Okay,
like you would have to make a valor check, but you'd have bonuses to it because you're yep using your Harven lineage. Yeah, I'm fine with that. So
cool.
that's if that's how you guys want to do it. How do you feel like you're you're gonna do that? Operator up, Ludwicka, Mr. Crystal. What are you two gonna do as Gareth Karr scuttles across the surface of the your ship?
I was gonna either go outside and provide a distraction or be at the ready to go outside and add a distraction, depending on how it goes, I suppose.
Okay. Sounds good.
Or
Ludwicka?
This
Gareth,
is
what would you like for me to do? I don't want to immediately just jump in on you there.
If you can wait and then jump out when we know there's a problem, I think it's probably better.
Okay.
Ludwicka?
You said there's one other way on to and off of the ship?
Yeah, the large bay doors. They're gonna be near the back.
Oh, got it. I was just gonna go try to be by a different entrance so I can draw something there if need be, but that feels like a door we don't want to just like randomly open in the middle of.
Sure. Yeah, probably not. I mean, you're a wayfinder. You're used to being on vessels and ships. Yeah, you know that would not be a great thing to do.
Right. Then I guess I will also just be at the ready.
Okay. All right. So all eggs are in the basket for this one. All right. So yeah, you've already described what you're gonna do. All right. You as yeah, silently because you're in space. The outer door is open. You have stripped down to your underwear. What does it look like? What does your character look like?
Like
With that,
super thin and super pale. Just bony, really. Um, uh, all he is wearing is it's like a black speedo essentially for underwear. Um, and but just gangly and uh, very little muscle tone. Uh, and you think that maybe that's why he wears some of the cool stuff that he wears, so you can't tell how skinny, kind of gross he is at times. But yeah, like almost, you know what I mean? Like spidery, like just these weird limbs, and just the vampirishness really starts to show through when you see Nosferatu, but like a
yeah,
skinny basketball player, but
yeah,
Nosferatu.
love it. As you peer over the edge of the doorway out into the thing, you see two razor wings are clutched, their claws dug into the side of the ship, but they're really not big enough to do a ton of damage to the ship. They just can't. They are they're hugged the side of it to the warmth of the ship near the engine side, which is a little bit further down. As you peer out, you do not see they have not noticed you as of yet. As your body begins to withstand the pressures from outside, your skin changes to a mottled kind of grayish black to try and take on to the space of the outside of the ship. Your body is fighting going into apoxia. So give me a valor check. Vigor, valor, 9. Spend a saga point to get a +3. And you can
Can
do
I
that
roll
after.
first and then decide?
Yes, you can do it afterwards.
Great.
I wanted these to be really useful. Okay.
Well, more for you.
Yeah. I gotta.
You sound heartbroken.
Yeah. Oh
But
no.
9 was enough.
Okay. Yes, your body has withstand the pressures of space. You know, the longer you stay out here, the harder it's going to become. But now you must scramble along without making too much movement to catch it from the peripheral vision of the razor wings. So now I need you to do. We're going to do an opposed roll. Okay. You're going to be doing your skullduggery versus my 3D. I mean, some dice.
Something random, huh? Great.
Yeah, so some random number of dice.
Yeah. I'll be sneaky. Oh my! There's a triple. Also, you're welcome.
Okay.
Uh, I'll spend a saga point to make it a solid 18.
Okay. Yeah. All right. You amazingly stick to the shadows as maybe at the time that the vessel is rotating just in time from the far side of a star to cast it in darkness, which also brings on the bitter cold of space as you manage to scuttle closer to the transport. To get into the transport, it is going to be a rigging check. However, looking at it, what you notice right away, now that you're next to it and looking at it, is there are, it's a double seater, side by side. And just from kind of peering in from the outside, it's not very big. Because you're an operator, you're actually familiar with this sort of um, vehicle. It's great for like attaching on, like when a ship takes off from a port, they can slip onto the side and attach for the before anyone knows what's going on. So yeah, you're absolutely right. You wouldn't see it from the outside from any other sort of detectors because of interference with the rings. Um, and you see both seats seem to have were probably occupied.
At the moment, they're both occupied.
No, at some point in time, there's no one in the ship.
Oh, there's no one right now. Okay.
Nope.
Uh, I'll try to get in if I can.
Okay. Okay. Give me a rigging. Uh, this one's just going to be a 9 because obviously they didn't think anyone would be trying to get it.
Yeah. I'm going to just do a wits rigging.
Yep. Sounds good to me.
Can I roll more 6s?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
All right. The pops open on there. And let me check my. Okay. Rachel, when that happens, I need you to tell me about your untold story. So you were involved with unethical research, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Can you tell me what about this scene right now reminds you of what you were experimenting on?
Um, inclined to say the razor wings actually, and this goes back to that shared passion for the mugwumps. There was definitely some like creature experimentation that sorry, making quick decisions. Um, that I actually didn't initially know about. I signed on for said research. Um, and there were definitely razor wings involved. Do you need more detail? Do you want more detail than that?
It's up to you. It's your untold story. So you were doing some sort of unethical research on razor wings specifically. Okay,
I don't
now,
think it was razor wings involved. I think it was like it had scaled up, like started small and scaled
ah,
up to razor wings, like as whatever experiment worked, it gradually got larger.
gotcha. All right, Gareth Karr, as your calling of being an operator, you're used to sneaking into places, getting things for people. What did you do to fulfill, possibly unknowingly, to get for this unethical research?
Uh, as an operator, I was aware that there was some gene splicing happening and that there were human-ish that were trying to create their own Zooey. Uh, and splicing razorwing DNA with avian zooies to give them the capability to be able to breathe or to not breathe, to be able to survive in 0G with no atmosphere, with the idea that they could create a sentient species that could operate in vacuum of space and be able to, like, as an army, right, like attack ships using what razor wings could do naturally. And
Wow.
it wasn't, they never, I don't know enough about it to know if it works or not, but I knew that Ludwicka was looking into Razorwing tech, and that's something I came across that I was not supposed to give away. That was really bad.
Two things. It sounds like Ludwicka does not know of your involvement at all. Is that correct?
But I owed her one, or I owe her one now. I guess that's the trick. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, I knew that that's what she was working on, and I was able to make sure that it landed in her lap, whether she knew where it came from me or not.
Gotcha. So you're keeping that a secret from Ludwicka right now, correct?
That information came from me. Sure.
Okay, perfect. All right. So on your character sheet, under Ludwicka, if you need to update your relationship with them, but also put maybe one secret. So then if Ludwicka finds out that secret, that you were involved or you were the one that was providing those, whether she knew it or not, that'll put a strain on your relationship. If strain ever hits zero, then we'll do an honor bound check. And if if anyone ever fails an honor bound check, the covenant is dissolved. Door opens up. You're able to scramble inside and close it before, because of your honestly, your miraculously rolling has been crazy pants. Um, and so I'm going to give this to you, I think, because there's a lot going on here. Your, um, oh, you know what? Here's what I can give you. It's cramped for you. Okay. This is definitely a private ship that someone has got made for them.
Custom
So,
job.
yep, you're pretty tall. Um, and it looks like both the people are about the same height, ballpark. You find some woven feathers, but you're not quite sure what that means. Unless you do a lore check. So remember, one of the things that we're going to be doing in this game is exploring everyone else's different lineage and different alien species. If you have a question about an alien species, you can make a lore check on it to figure out what's going on.
Sure. We'll do a panache lore, like a cultures check.
Yeah, okay. Now it is a
What?
13, so it's pretty high. Do you still want to do it?
I mean, I've been rolling like a champ.
It's true.
Is he in a thing now where he can breathe and like communicate with us?
Yeah, you know enough ships that you can change over to a channel and communicate with both Ludwicka and Mr. Crystal if you need to.
Sure. And I'll do that. I'm in the ship.
It to one of us. Might
Okay.
have some more information.
Okay. A couple things. This ship was designed for short people. It's a custom job. I found this thing of woven feathers. Does that mean anything to you guys? Please tell me it does. Anybody know
Is
anything
it
about
like
woven feathers?
roll?
Yeah, lore roll. Just need a 13.
Did I
Can
the bounty
I
hunter I talked
do?
to last time was named Murph, right?
Yes,
Was she wearing feathers like this?
she was not.
The next thing I'm looking for is short white hairs that might be all over a seat. Because I know everywhere I go, I find dog hair. So, but we'll wait until see what the feathers do for us.
Okay.
Um, do that same cultures like panache. Oh
Yep.
my god. Panache lore, or I'm seeing what other things are under lore.
Like wits lore is good too. If you had it in your hands, I would say you could do like a channeling lore, read the tea
Or
leaves, that
like
sort
a
of thing.
mysticism. Yeah. Um. Yeah, I'm gonna do a wits lore to see if I've heard of woven feathers in some capacity. Dice up. Whoop, that's nope. 7D
It's
67.
that's pretty good.
I also got a
Not gonna
327. That's good.
Hey, you got a saga point. You're gonna have to spend one saga point to get 13. Is that what you want to do?
Yep. Oh, I have a saga point to spend. Can I spend the one I just got? Is that a thing?
Yeah, just to let people know how we were doing it before, I want to say no. So I want you to wait to use stuff. But what I think through playing and all that, it's just easier to allow people to do it, honestly. So yes, if you
Okay.
want to, that's fine.
Why not? Yeah, sure. If that's how we want to play now, I'll take it.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Get it
okay.
spend it.
Yeah. You search through your memory banks of your Scintillian cells, all firing, checking out, and a thought comes from one of them down by your left heel and sends the synapse back up, and it says woven feathers are often used in ritualistic practices for eternals.
I will communicate that.
Oh, did you say you needed that repeated?
Oh, I said I will communicate that.
Okay.
Are Eternals known for being like the size that I'm looking at for the ship? Like, are they short?
Um, you're without making any sort of lore checks about Eternals. What you do know is that Eternals can be in all sorts of shapes and sizes.
Okay.
We need the three eternal here, backgrounded guests on the ship, smaller in stature.
Probably need to go talk to him.
Yeah.
One's a
Oh,
zoologist. That's interesting already.
Honeymooners.
how small? Ah, I'll go talk to them. Giving me time to flesh out what I'm trying to process.
Okay. Based on the shuttle, Gareth Karr can like a little over 4 feet, but because Gareth Karr is this spindly monster, like it's super cramped for him. Uh,
Any piece of white fur in this ship on a seat anywhere?
um, no.
Okay. Last thing, is there any way for me to dig into the nav unit of the shuttle to see where it was before it was here?
Sure. Yeah, yeah. We can do crew, wits, or rigging. Crew or rigging would work, I
Uh,
think, equally well for this.
I would do, yeah, wits rigging is probably what I would do.
Okay. Boy, your character is going to die as soon as they walk back out there. It's going to be
Oh
amazing.
my, that's insane how many sixes I've rolled tonight. Holy cow. Okay.
On the plus side, though,
Uh-huh.
you're passing things. Um, so yes, you get into the log and you look up. It is set to land. Okay, well, what's the best way to? Um, it is going to. It's set to take off. This ship on its own is set to leave on its own after the main ship lands or gets within orbit, and it's going to fly to the town of Defiance. It originated from um, because I just kind of throw this adventure together and stuff I should have here. But what I can tell you where it did not come from, which is surprising to you, is it did not come from the Free City State area at all.
Okay.
It came from a a different a satellite ring controlled by rebels. Which for you guys, that's the underground element criminals, which are not, they're not all bad guys.
So the ship attached when we were already in the system, not before.
Correct.
Okay. But still corresponded where it could have attached and then we had our problems, right? It didn't attach after the ship was sabotaged. Still
Sure.
makes sense that it would attach before that. Okay.
Correct.
I will make my way back into the ship and let somebody else do something and roll their own sixes for a while.
Yeah, so right now you two are just kind of watching this so far. You guys are communicating back and forth. Is there anything that you want? Oh, you know what I should do? Um, is Gareth Karr, because you're the last person to have contact with him, and we finally hit a tension point table roll on here that I've been meaning to do, which is just kind of caught up with you guys. Uh, you hear strangled um, over your intercom. You hear a strangled gasp as it calls out for your name, like Gareth. You recognize it as the voice of Sapphire Crux.
Revenge. I'll call back to you guys. Like, something's wrong with Sapphire. Yeah, he just tried to. It sounded like he was getting strangled. Somebody get his room now. Get his room now. I'll get back to the ship. Don't worry about it. Just find his room.
Oh no, we all froze.
Do it. Do it now.
I'll look at Ludwicka. Ludwicka, do you want me? Should I go or do you want to go? Or should we both go?
I think one of us should stay here to make sure Earth gets back.
I'll be fine. Both of you go.
Okay.
I'll go. You stay here.
Okay. I'm wearing the
Yeah,
suit.
with that, like by
I'm-
touching him, so that I was gonna say you're like ready to go out if you need to. I will say it by touching, so Gareth doesn't even know that I told him to stay, and I say, "Okay, we're going," and then I take off.
I'll be ready to throw that door open as soon as Gareth gets close.
Sounds good. All right, Ludwicka, you are pounding feet as fast as your Scintillian cells can carry you. Where are you going?
I'm going to where his room was. Whether he stayed there or not, I don't know, but so sleeping quarters.
Okay. Here, I'll get up my thing where everyone is at. There we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, you are hustling to the room that Gareth Karr and Sapphire were staying in. You get to the outside of the door.
Mhm.
As things happen, work out in this world, you manage to get there, throw the door open in the nick of time as you see the figure of Ithaca strangling Sapphire Crux from behind. Initiative.
Stop! I don't remember how initiative works.
Well, do you want to use
This is the
vigor, valor, or mysticism, valor? Or you can choose to go last. If you choose to go last, you get a saga point.
I would like to use mysticism valor.
Okay. All right. I am Ithaca. I have an initiative of, well, I'm not going to tell you, but it's a static number. So you can roll if you want to, or you don't have to roll. So if you'd like to roll, please do so. I will tell you, I'm generally pretty generous about this part. I will tell you, rolling a 9, you're going to go before Ithaca, actually.
Okay.
All right. What would you like to do?
I'm going to try to put myself between, like, try to get in between. There we go. I guess how it works. I'm trying to, yeah, like make myself very tight in between and like pry up her hands.
Okay.
I'm
All
strangling.
right. So yeah, Ithaca is wearing her white robes. Her crystalline fingers are around the
She's an
humanish,
Iliad, isn't she?
pale-skinned neck, getting as his face is becoming
Thanks.
almost purplish. You jump in
Mm.
between. Um, is this a valor check? Is that what we're looking at?
I was trying to do mysticism valor to think more like shielding, but I assume that was more like how did you interpret shielding? You made
Yeah,
that a suggestion for valor mysticism.
that's more for you taking on an attack of some sort of magical saving throw, sort of kind of thing is what I'm thinking. Now
Okay.
that being said, don't forget if your mysticism is like your highest score, you can use mysticism duel to attack as well,
Mm,
if that's
sure.
the kind of thing
So
that you're
then
looking
that
to get done.
do. Yeah, that would make more sense then. Should I be re-rolling my initiative? Make it a
No,
mysticism duel?
no,
Okay,
nope. The initiative is just a different roll, right?
gotcha.
So you're going first, and now you're the attacker. So go ahead.
I'm trying to get her to let go. However, I can do that. Good. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Where are those 60s now?
Ithaca must have some sort of psionic barrier up to resist your attack as she turns like, you don't know what this brat means, as she's just squeezing the life from his, waiting for his head to pop. Okay. Gareth Karr, you're hearing through the thing. Would you try and sneak back now?
Sure.
Okay. At this point, Mr. Crystal, you know that Gareth Carr is going to be coming back. Do you do you just want to rely on him being sneaky enough to get back, or do you want to? do some sort of distraction at this point?
I'm going to wait and watch and see how his sneaking goes.
Okay.
And if it looks like he's being successful, I'm going to go try to find Sapphire.
Okay.
But I'm going to wait and see if he gets back okay.
All right. Sounds good. Kind of holding your action, more or less, sort of deal. Okay. All right, Gareth, what do you got?
More sixes for you,
Mm-hmm.
but 2 soccer points.
Oh, sorry. Don't look at that. Are you going to keep anything?
I was going to add 1.
Okay. All right, so you're at a 12. You're the attacker. You win ties, so even if I kept one, it wouldn't matter. All right. You managed to scuttle your way back to the entranceway. About halfway through, Mr. Crystal, you feel pretty confident that Gareth Karr is going to make it back safely back into the ship. Um, do you want to leave right now, heading towards the room?
If it seems like he's going to make it back okay, or could at least make the sprint, yeah, I'm going to go running off. Yep.
Okay.
Go look for
Sounds good.
Sapphire's room.
All right, now Ithaca. I am going to try and okay, never mind. I am Sapphire is still alive. Okay. All right. At this point, you hear over your shoulder Mr. Crystal is getting to the doorway. Gareth Karr has just jumped into the entranceway. Um Gareth Karr, you see as other people have ran down the hallway, because I'm finally catching up to all my tension tables now, you see the figure of Tash, kind of walking down the hallway, and he's kind of looking around. And he sees you, and he just kind of stops, and he's just like, oh, hey there, you taking a walk outside? That's weird. Okay, Mr. Crystal, Ludwicka, would you like to do an initiative check? You don't have to if you don't want to.
Mm.
What is it? What is it exactly that I see as I come in around the corner here?
Ludwicka, do you want to tell us all exactly what this scene looks like?
You see kind of like a big cloud of bacteria, like in between, like around Ithaca's hands and Sapphire's neck. That is just kind of obscuring what's happening. But it is very much like moving and rippling. And it's clearly doing something. Like it's trying to pull her hands apart.
And Sapphire is looking rather choked at this point.
Yes.
Yes.
Not looking great. Okay.
Take to roll for
Oh,
initiative or just go last?
I'm sorry. Um, I would like to roll, but I'm sorry. Tell me one more time what I need to roll. I still forget this
Valor.
every time, and I still don't know that I understand.
It's
Valor.
okay. Valor, either
Anything,
vigor or mysticism. I mean, it depends on what
but
you're trying to
doesn't have
do,
to
right?
align with. I was gonna say, but does it have to align with what I think I'm trying to do? Like I want duel.
No, no,
It was to roll a valor check.
yep, yeah.
Okay,
Initiative is just kind
that's
of a
what I wasn't sure.
default. Valor is the default use for initiative. Now, it is the one thing that I have not been very happy about, and so I kind of just want to get rid of it and say that whatever your attribute you're going to use, that's what you roll for your initiative. Why don't we just switch to that starting right now? And I will lower initiatives for all my guys.
So I would roll, for example, vigor or wits or whatever, right?
Yeah, depending on what you want to do.
Yeah.
So, then honestly, like I think there's justification for any one of those attributes to be used for initiative, right? Like panache would be the hardest one, but except unless you're in a social situation, then you'd 100% use panache, you know?
If I wanted, what does martial lore look like? That, what does that mean? Well, how would
Martial law?
lore look in an
Oh,
initiative? I think. I don't know. Yeah.
no. Get rid of
I
the
was like, what does
skill.
that
Get
mean?
get rid of the skills. Only do attributes.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
And attributes are the rows, not the columns.
No, other way around. It's the column is the attribute.
Other
So
way around.
your vigor,
I
wits,
get this.
panache, or mysticism.
Gotcha. Um, well then
Yeah,
yes,
let's
I
just
would
make it easy.
do. This is like in tally.
Oh, all right. Right now, Mr. Crystal's going first. Ludwicka, you're going
Wow.
last. Um,
Do I get
uh,
saga points for initiative rules?
no, nope, no saga points, and I don't get tension points for initiative rolls either.
Do
All
you want
right,
me to roll too?
no, because you're not there.
I'm not in the
Um,
scene. No problem.
yep, because you've got Mr. Cash there if you want to do anything with him, or if you want to, you'll probably end up running away, but he's there. Okay, Mr. Crystal, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna Valor Vigor. It looks like that's in athletics, is the
Yeah.
description. Uh, yeah, so I'm gonna just charge right in there and try to also pry the hands off the neck there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, go for it.
Whew.
Right. The way that this has been going, I'll probably go back to the way I was doing it, where for me to trigger a tension table, I have to spend all the points to do it. I think is what I'm going to have to do because this is getting crazy pants. Okay.
I'm
Um,
gonna spend. I'm guessing that's gonna be opposed.
yes, it is an opposed check.
Yeah, I'll spend a point to get it up to 16.
Okay. No, even if I wanted to, it wouldn't be worth it. Oh my goodness. Okay. Show me, yeah, tell me what that looks like because you succeed.
I succeed by like 9 points.
Yeah. That's,
I I just reach out and I get I put too much oomph into it and I break one of their thumbs.
yep. I'm
Yeah,
fine with
just
this.
peel them right off and there's a horrible crunching sound.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, and you don't feel good about that.
No.
As Ithaca screams in pain for having their thumb ripped off. And let's see, on your own. Okay. This is going to be something thrown in here because you're the one that triggered the attention table. Maybe give me a second on this one. Well, because I know I was going to introduce that in something else. Okay. When you hear that scream, it reminds you of a time when you walked away from the maybe it's a cult, maybe it's not a cult. Um, take 2 honor damage as you are going to gain the shook condition, and that's when you roll dice. You're going to get less dice when you roll them because you are now shook. And I need you to tell me what that means. I'm going to assume because it has something to do with maybe status amongst Iliods, because this is one of your own lineage that, not that that's ever been part of it, until right this second, you've had a flashback to your time at your camp.
Yeah, because we harmonize, right? We get on the same vibration together. We're all sort of part of the universe and the high level of mysticism, right? That um, when we fight, we don't fight, right? We don't. There's no physical altercation. We have a communal get together of like vibration and song, and there's this long reconciliation process, and to actually inflict injury on another is like the greatest sin, right? This is a terrible thing. It's one thing to defend oneself, it's another thing to intervene and harm another intentionally, especially another Iliad, because this is not something that we do with the other races. Don't understand how to speak and harmonize, but to do this to one of our own. So sometimes we hurt others, but to hurt one of our own is just absolutely forbidden.
Wow, I really like the tempo of moving forward into this. Like kind of like a bull in a china shop so far, like how your character is getting woven into it. Now, Ludwicka is going to reel back after having her thumb burst off. So now, Sapphire breathes in, suddenly being able to breathe. She attacked me out of nowhere. Um, she is going to turn towards Ludwicka, and I haven't looked at your character sheet, so I don't know if this is going to be worth it, but we're going to try it. Um, she is going to try and command Ludwicka. Okay. She is going to, it's like, call on shipwrights for you to protect her. Okay. Now I'm the attacker, so I roll first. I'm going to spend my tension point. So I have a 14.
And what
So
do I roll to defend?
yep. So this is going to be probably a panache valor. Um, as she is calling in her status for you to protect her. Now, how these requests work is that we'll first roll, see if you can just outright ignore her, right?
Okay.
Because I'm going to introduce something that I've been toying around with in other playtesting. Okay, so I get a tension
I,
point. Oop.
I can't get to her 14 if I spend a saga point. So, is this a matter of like I take whatever difference is?
So here's the difference, okay? So if I'm at a 14, you're at a 10. You can ignore her shipwrights, but you take
Oh,
4 points of honor damage
Oh,
for not
okay.
following, because she is the first mate, right? She has status on you, and these things matter in
Um,
this world.
if I do spend a saga point and make it 12, then I only take 2 honor damage to ignore her.
Correct.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
I'm gonna take 2 honor damage, and I'm gonna ignore her. Rounds that
All right, and it's your turn.
it's not. Oh, it's my turn.
Mhm.
I'm going to. Do I have to stick with the skill I initially rolled initiative for, or the attribute that I initially
No,
rolled initiative for?
no, that's fine. Because you're going last.
I would like
Yeah.
to. Right. Wits command to berate her. Or is there a crew something that would make more sense to be like, you pull your rank, but you are not following ship's law to give anybody a fair trial or to protect passengers.
Yeah, I would be totally into that if you
So,
want to use crew instead of like duel or whatever. Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. I love it.
um, would that be more of a crew thing, or would the wits command? Because the example you have there is
Yeah.
berate, so I am like,
Honestly, you narratively explained it both ways really well to me, so whichever one you like.
Which would it still be Wit's crew
Or Panache
that
Crew.
way? If I did crew, Nash, I'd rather do
Yeah.
Wits. Like I know
Yeah.
my ship's law and like
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Let's do it. Yeah, go wits.
and I roll first.
Yep, you're the attacker in this case. The aggressor, the person going first. Oh, okay. Dang.
I don't have any saga points to spend except the one I just got. Do I spend it? Oh, I'm gonna keep the saga point and just do my
Well,
double
do you
sixes.
want to call in what we were talking about lowering a relationship?
I ooh, not really.
Like, I'll give you a +6 if you lower your relationship between you and Mr. Crystal, who's the only other person that's in the scene with you.
Right. Um,
We'll have to figure out exactly what you do, but
yeah, I don't think narratively I know what that would be. So
all
I'm gonna
right.
say no. I'm not gonna do that.
Okay. So you're going to use the saga
Look at
point that
yours.
you've got there already to go to 15, or are you going to stick with 12?
That's what I'm trying to decide. I shouldn't I? Yes, I'm going
I
to spend my saga point to make
It's
it a
up to
15.
you.
I'm so indecisive right now. It's like so
All
borderline. I
right.
spent it, so I'm at a
Okay.
15.
All right. Now I've got three. Currently, I've got three saga points. You want 12? I can take that. That's fine. I'd rather get the attention table. Okay. Now your words cut her. Okay. She realizes that she is in the wrong. And so she's got to figure something out. All right, we're gonna switch back out to the exterior of Cash looking really guilty of something. He's looking for something in the hallway. Like you caught him dead to rights as he came around the corner. Now, what that is, you have no idea. You did hear that Sapphire is talking and breathing.
Okay. Uh, and I think they're both down there. So I'm going to assume everything is all right for the moment while I'm putting my pants on.
Right.
And dude, uh, and Cash is the same species of Ludwicka, right?
Let's take a look. Cash is
Scintillian.
yeah, Scintillian, exactly right. So if I remember correctly, when I described him earlier, when Ludwicka ran into him, he is like kind of a purplish tone, and he's got the full on like uh caravel like admiral hat on, and like trench coat and just like but talking very quickly. And as the longer you talk to him, you see that his form unconsciously starts to mimic yours as he starts to get a little bit taller, a little bit skinnier.
I'm just going to say, can I help you? Something in this hallway you're interested in?
What I'm
'Cause I'm
just
putting on my
walking down
pants.
here. Now, and you remember too, is that you told everyone to stay in their room at the
For sure.
last session. All right, and he's like, "Huh? Oh no, I was going to the galley. Just going to the galley, feeling a little peckish. Thought I'd head on down that way. Okay."
No.
He,
No. Okay.
oh,
Keep going.
I mean, I figure like it seems like everything's fine right now, right? Right? And he is not making eye contact with you at all. He is scanning the hallway. Um, up and down.
I have my pants on, but I don't have my boots on yet, or my shirt or my cloak.
Okay.
And I'm sticking in my underwear because that's all I was wearing. I pull out that little cog thing that
Okay.
I found in the hangar bay.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
I'm just gonna
Or in storage,
just
yeah.
bullshit here. Yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna say, "We looking for this?"
He says like, what? No. Why would I need any sort of augmentation? You're looking for a humanish. I don't need that.
Good, good. You're supposed to be in your room.
Okay.
I'll escort you there. I just need to put my shoes on.
Okay. Okay. Here, let me just look around for. Yeah, you just put your shoes on. Take your time. All right, we're going to switch back to. All right. This will probably be the final round, I'm going to guess, of this conflict, but we'll see how it goes. Would you like to do roll for initiative or not? Um, she Ithaca does not look great. And you know what? What I'll do, she'll start to indicate that she is surrendering. I think between getting her thumb broken off, in Ludwicka reading her the riot act for how maritime law exists right now. You guys are the ones. Um, so she will back down, and she's just like she holds her hand to one side. She goes like, "The captain would never have done it. That boy needs to die." And Saffron's just like, "What? What? What? Do you guys need me for this? This is crazy."
Tell us more. I mean, it's not obviously if something needs to occur, it should be brought before the proper authorities, the proper um jury, whatever that looks like.
They
But
they have
you
his
can't just say this and not explain.
they have his family. They have his family, and they're going to execute them if Klaus didn't assassinate Sapphire Crux. Here, she reaches in her robes with her other hand and pulls out an envelope. She shows it to you, and yeah, Klaus is being blackmailed to make sure that um, Sapphire Crux doesn't make it home from one of the criminal families on this homeworld.
Oof.
It's like I've failed him. He would have sacrificed everything, and I know that if he had done that, I am honor bound to the man. He could not have lived with himself.
How big is he, and would he fit inside the ship that's attached to the bottom of our ship?
Yeah. You look at Sapphire Crux, and you're like, I mean, he's humanish, so he's like a little bit about 5.5, but he could fit.
Do we need to get him off this ship?
Ithaca's like, I don't know how.
Oh, I guess she doesn't know about the ship underneath, does she? What do you two think? It might be the only way to save him is to get him out of here.
Well, it's only Ludwicka that's in the scene with you right now.
Oh, okay. I can't. Okay. I was gonna try to pull Gareth in with the
Like you
communicators, but
can talk to Gareth too, but he's got his hands full with
got a
his
thing.
pants in cash.
Wait, what? Okay. Uh, I don't know that that came anyway across.
That's the name of my new band name. I call it Pants and Cash.
What do you think, Ludwig? Can we? Do we need to get him out of here?
I think it's possible, but I think we need to deal with other matters before that can occur.
Okay.
What will you do with me?
Tried to murder a sentient being. That's unacceptable. We're going to have to take you to the authorities.
Yeah, and by all intents and purposes right now, you are the authorities. So you can be the judge here too, judge and jury.
Some
And
kind of brig situation, place to we're locked up, and also, I mean, not to the brig, but a way to put Sapphire, that guy, in some type of protective custody situation where he is
y- yeah,
confined to
because
quarters. Well, I guess that's what you could do for the first mate for Ithaca too, like confined to quarters until
the what you
the
can do
guard
because
situation.
it's a luxury vessel. They don't have a brig per se, but I'm sure they have a drunk tank, right? Something like that. Um, so yeah, I'd be fine putting that in there.
So do I also like know enough about a ship, or does somebody else that somehow hack a lock somehow to like Sapphire's door, so like he can't go out, but nobody else can get in, like locked from both sides?
I mean, that sounds like a rigging check, right? You can set it up that
I
way.
just
I mean,
like,
you can set it
yeah,
up
like
that way,
protect
right?
him. Yeah.
Okay, big
Yes.
reveal there. Switch back to Gareth Karr in Cash. Cash is just kind of staying there looking around, going like, "Okay, well, are you ready to go?"
Yes. Yes. I'll follow you back to
Okay,
your room.
okay, yeah, great. Hey, just to ask, have you seen anything kind of unusual? I mean, obviously besides everything that's going on, but anything like wet or anything in these hallways? Maybe like a leaking coolant or anything like that?
Did you lose something in the storage area? Oh, do you have like a thing, like a pet? Do you try to smuggle on a pet? This happens to be everywhere I go. Is this what happened? What do you have?
Um, he is as much of a Scintillian can be like, what? Um, he is obviously guilty. I'm not even gonna do a check, right? He's just like, what? No, no, I'm just out. I'm just going to the galley. I'm just kind of, I was just checking, but it's worried about the ship, it's all stuff and
No,
stuff.
we saw the slime trail. Something is loose. Is it dangerous?
Oh my goodness. Uh, no, yes, maybe. Um, do you, uh, okay. So I was hired. I'm bringing a shipment of morbs. I know that they're illegal in some parts of the galaxy. on accounts of how they can reproduce and whatnot. But
Yeah.
yeah, no. So these are set on they're angelic. So they're good right now. As long as they don't get upset or feel like they're in danger, we'll be fine. I think just one got out. I think just one, we gotta find it.
Yeah. One slaughtered the entire crew of the Scintillian. All right? Remember that? There's a reason they don't get let out.
What yeah, yeah, that's why we gotta find it. If you want to, you can do a lore check on Morbs to see exactly what he's talking about. You just have a vague, like, kind of vague idea of like, whoa, they can be dangerous, but you're
Yeah.
not quite sure why.
Yeah. I think they're little guys that transform to big guys. Gonna do a good old lore science.
Yeah,
Does
100%.
that work?
Yeah, Wits lore for sure.
It's Morbin
Hey, roll a 6.
Hey, you got it though. Um, yeah, you got it. So Morbs are if you took like a pail bucket like this big and just put like clear slime snot into it, but with like sparkly kind of colors into it, that's what a morb looks like. Okay. So it's kind of a poured out of the bucket and it can kind of like slurp around and get into places that are hard to get to. Now, the weird thing about morbs is that they are generally have like two settings to them. You have the infernal setting, which is where they have a red tinge and they sing a song of your doom, or they're on the angelic setting, which is you hear a great humming of inspiration. They constantly give off the vibration from their body of some sort of song. And depending if they feel safe, they'll give their great boon to people that are in the area to them. However, what you're referring to about the slaughter of the that ship
Mm-hmm.
is that it was infernal. They started off as angelic, an angelic choir turned into an infernal, and they began to multiply as more people got scared, and everybody ended up spacing themselves basically out the doors because they couldn't stand the dirge. So there's your history lesson on Morbs.
Love it. I love it. Uh, so, Cash, you didn't have anything to do with sabotaging the ship?
What? No, I'm just trying to get paid.
I didn't think so. Just making sure. Uh, we have so much going on right now, man. I did not need this.